So hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over the top 5 best standard decks, so post-rotation, in my opinion, and Daddy's.
Yes. So this is for post rotation from Team Up to Darkness Ablaze. This is our list of top 5 standard decks. So first we're gonna list off our some honorable mentions. The first one here is Vikavolt. So
Vikavolt V, the reason that it's a honorable mention is because using Paralyzing Bolt only does 50 damage and doesn't do as much as some people would hope or would think.
it's a slow deck. You're gonna do 50 damage, 50 damage, 50 damage, and against some of these big beefy VMAX Pokemon, 50 damage really doesn't add up. Now you get the item lock, which could be really good, but to use your second attack, the Super Zap Cannon, and do 190 damage, you're gonna break that item lock, allowing your opponent to play item cards again. So your opponent can kind of wait till you have to do that and then start playing all their item cards. So it could be good, and there may be cards coming out to make it better in the next set. But for right now, it's sitting on our honorable mentions as a fun deck, but just not quite there. So our next deck choice for honorable mentions is
Centiskorch VMAX.
now this VMAX has a really good attack here. Its Gmax Force does 40 damage plus an additional 40 damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So you can keep loading lots of fire energy onto Centiskorch VMAX and it'll do large amounts of damage. The biggest problem with Centiskorch VMAX, in our opinion, though, is that you got to put all your energy on one Pokemon.
And it is like putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yep. So as soon as that first Centiskorch goes down, you have no backup attacker ready to hit those big numbers again. So again, it's a fun deck and it looks like there's potential, but it's just not quite there in those top tier decks in our opinion. So now for number 5 on our list of top decks. This one's a little bit of a surprise, but this is a deck I've been playing and I've been enjoying, and it was the top deck before, but it's kind of moved down, and I still think it's a top 5 deck, but you just got to play it a little differently, and that is a Bolthound v Pikachu and Zekrom deck. Now, I've been playing around with this with a very heavy Bolthound attacker with a single Pikachu and Zekrom in the deck, and you can hit really large numbers. You can attack very quickly still. It's a very strong deck. So, it's still got potential, and but it's got a good matchup against all the other decks we're going to show you here overall, because you do have that ability to really ramp up your damage. And of the list, it has the highest damage cap, because in my list I'm playing 11 lightning energy plus 4 of the speed energy. So you can do a lot of damage with that Bolt Storm when you need to. And Pikachu and Zekrom with 240 HP, you throw a Big Charm on there, you run a Raichu with a Big Charm, they can hold the energy and be useful as just, absorbing big hits. So the next one on our list is
Eternus V, VMAX, and Crobat V.
So Eternatus V has an ability first, Infinity Zone, which says as long as you only have dark Pokemon on your bench, or you can have up to 8 Pokemon in play. So it allows you to have a bigger bench than your opponent. Plus, its attack, Dread End, does 30 damage times the number of dark Pokemon you have in play. So your damage cap now is 270 damage, which is pretty good for an attacking Pokemon.
And if you're not doing like standard, if you're trying to make it an expanded deck, you can use, I believe it's called Skyfield.
Skyfield does the same thing. It's not going to increase your bench
Allow it.
anymore.
Wait.
So your bench is still only 8. So, but Crobat V is a new Pokemon as well from Darkness Ablaze, and it's like Shaman EX was. It has an ability where when you put it down onto your bench, you can draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. So it's a draw engine for Eternatus V. It helps add to the damage for Eternatus V. So this is a very good deck, but it's struggles sometimes in that your only draw engine is Crobat. You can play, Professor's Research and Marnie's, but your Pokemon draw, whereas other decks can have both Crobat and Dedenne GX, Eternatus V struggles a little bit sometimes because it can only play the Crobats, and you only get one per turn.
Also, some people are saying that Crobat V is the best Pokemon in Darkness Ablaze
It could be. I
and
mean, that
in
ability
Standard.
is strong. That ability is very strong, so I could see it being considered one of the best from the set.
For number 3 on our list, I wanted this to be number 1, is Inteleon VMAX and Frostmoth.
I think it is definitely one of the top decks, but I just think our top 2 are better than this deck in the end. But it is a very good, very strong deck. And Inteleon VMAX has 2 really good attacks. So what are the 2 attacks?
So the first attack, Hydro Snipe, takes 1 water energy and does 60 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, and then it takes an energy off your opponent's active Pokemon.
And you put it back in their hands so you can slow down their deck so that they have to keep reattaching energy. There's not a lot of really good energy excel in some decks. Things like Eternatus, they don't have a way to speed up energy attachment very easily, especially from the hand every turn. So, this is an easy way to, put damage on an Eternatus and, remove its energy. So then it has a second attack though, and this one's really good as well.
It's Max Bullet. It takes 2 water energy and 1 colorless. Max Bullet does 160 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, and then does 60 damage to a bench Pokemon of your opponent's.
Yeah, so you can start sniping damage places and start taking lots of prizes, very quickly. And with the Frostmoth, allowing you to attach more than 1 water energy in a turn, you got the potential to be hitting 160 to the active, 60 to the bench by turn 2 with this deck, which is why it's so high on the list.
I found this deck really good against decks like Mad Party.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's not that popular, I've been playing against a friend, and she plays a lot of Mad Party. So I started trying out the Inteleon VMAX, and it works really well against a Mad Party deck because you get to knock out the active Pokemon. It's almost a guarantee knockout on the bench.
Yes, almost depending on what you're attacking. But if you have like a card we're not showing here, but that actually is in a lot of these decks now, the Zigzagoon, you can snipe an extra couple of damage places. So you can increase how much you're doing to a bench Pokemon. So Inteleon, it's got really good matchups against like Eternatus and against Centiskorch, because Centiskorch has got the water weakness that we were showing. It also has a pretty good matchup against deck, our second place deck, which we'll be showing here in a second, Zacian ADP. But it struggles against other decks, and but it's definitely one of the best decks available and out there right now. So as we just mentioned, our second place deck on our list is Zacian ADP, which is actually a deck you played a lot of for cups and tournaments.
When my favorite deck, Inteleon VMAX, wasn't out.
Yes, yes. Before we all went into lockdown and quarantine here, you were playing a lot of Zacian ADP,
Which I don't like anymore.
which you've kind of played it so much you don't enjoy playing it anymore, which makes sense. You play a deck for so long, you just kind of get bored of it. But I mean, the thing is, it's still very powerful. Altered Creation doing an extra 30 damage and allowing you to take an extra Pokemon or an extra prize whenever you knock out a Pokemon is still surprisingly very good. And with the addition of the turbo patches, you can quickly get a Zacian V powered up and not just needing the metal saucers. The deck still is just a very powerful deck in the format right now. So it's one to definitely keep watch out for, and that's why I think it's number 2 on our list.
Okay.
And so finally, in fact, actually, our number 1 deck still includes Zacian, but it also is the Zacian with Lucario Melmetal. And
I do not understand this deck at all.
no, this deck is it kind of came out of a little bit out of nowhere, but it won the Players' Cup over the weekend, took first and second, so it's very good. In just that, using Full Metal Wall, you're reducing the damage you're taking from your opponent, and Zacian is able to take big knockouts. You also play Zamazenta, who is immune for damage from VMAX Pokemon, so it's a way to wall off against like Inteleon VMAX and Eternatus VMAX. And it's a very, very good Pokemon. So the deck, it's right now, after the Players' Cup, it's definitely probably up there on the list of best decks, but I'm sure there's a lot of smarter players and better players than us coming up with ways to beat this deck right now, and soon it will no longer be the top deck. And that's always one of those fun things about Pokemon, is that when a deck becomes really good, people find a way to beat it, and that's always cool. So you have anything else to add about our list of decks here?
I think we actually forgot to talk about the Frostmoth.
We did talk about Frostmoth. But yeah, so those are our top 10 decks. Those.
Sorry, trying to
control
angle the camera.
There we go. So those are our top decks. Our thoughts on what is the top deck right now. So if you got other thoughts, please leave them in the comments. We hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you a lot to think about. Now this list is going to change, and it'll change quite rapidly. So thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it.
And goodbye.